Hey guys, Nate here. I hope you enjoy what's going on with the Worldwide Wrestling RPG and Underground Championship Wrestling. If you do, stop by the Deejcast tomorrow at 8 a.m. It's going to be dropping. You better be there. We're going to be talking with Kelly Wells, my co-host on PWT Talks NXT for the PW Torch. We're going to be talking about character creation and roster building and the dice system that he created for him and his friends as a kid to play a wrestling RPG because, well, hey, there wasn't another one. So be sure to check it out tomorrow morning. We'll be here.
Well, Pointer, I see that you're here with your longtime friend 9 to 5. You're feeding the homeless. Is this usually how you get into the spirit of things before your matches?
I do. I'm a man of the people, and I like to help the people as much as I can, because I know how hard it is.
I walk out and I wear a skin tight shirt that accents all my muscles, but it's like the Italian flag. There's no music playing. I walk over to the side to like one of the fans and I like ask their name. Oh, and there's also the splash zone. So I'll like hand out some ponchos to some people. I always sing an aria to like one of the fans. Vittoria, 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 Vittoria.
That's some amazing vibrato there.
Yes, yeah.
I pull out this like big like super soaker gun. In the splash zone, I start spraying those people with like my sauce. They're like, yeah. Vittoria. This is like spraying everybody with the special sauce.
Considering he used to be a demolition derby mechanic, it's like some pretty hardcore like metal. Right now, like I said, he is a serial hobbyist with metal blaring. He's just so focused on knitting this hat or crocheting this hat that he's working on. He picks you up and almost immediately goes to his finisher.
So I'll bounce off the mat.
So basically, like you're lying in perfect pinning position.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Yeah.
1, 2, as his hand begins to fall for the third pin, his hand stops. He can't push his arm down to count for the 3 count. The lights flicker, a silver light radiance. I mean, kind of like Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, but like a silver color. The Mindcreep is standing in the ring with one hand up like this, you know, at the exact angle the ref's hand is. Takes his other hand and kind of pushes it, which causes the hobbyist to, in an effort to keep kayfabe, roll backwards onto his back from the pinning position of the Falcon Arrow, which causes him to be on top of him, and the ref's hand starts coming down again really fast because suddenly he's got his ability to move again.
Yep. Sort of what you said ends up happening, and the winner, Poindexter Puny.
Welcome to Deedles and Dragons. I thought this was going to be hard. Welcome to Deedles and Dragons.
Who wants a rip-off?
Big champion.
Smoke arrow!
Who's this champion? I'm a man of the people. Shattered world.
Rip-off always knows!
Yes.
Bravissimo.
So we then move on to the next segment. Next segment will be we're going to start off with a Mindcreep interview before his match against Captain Yadude.
It goes backstage, and he's looking like he's sweating a little bit, which he wasn't supposed to be doing, but running really tired him out. And so he's doing like, and then he notices the interview and immediately like back into character. And he's, you know, he waves his hands and he's holding a deck of cards and kind of looks to the camera. My opponent tonight is Captain Yadude. There's so many cards in a deck. You have your 52. Some are face cards with higher value. Some are just random numbers. There's a lot of misconception that the ace is the strongest card in the deck, but it's not. An ace is just a 1. An ace has the lowest value. Captain Yadu, the ace is your chance of winning. And with but a flick of my wrist, I can make your chance of winning disappear.
All right, cool. So yeah, so the camera cuts away from that backstage promo, and it then goes to a different backstage interview area. Again, similar setup. With the UCW black curtain with the UCW logo on it. There's also a TV monitor over there that kind of shows what's going on. But you see Mean Dean Cumberbund just standing there, and he's like, I was looking to get an interview today with Captain Yadud. However, he is nowhere to be found. We're going to continue to look for him as his match is about to start, but as of right now, we're not sure where he is. So the crowd's kind of a little bit confused at the moment. The crowd's a little confused, and they're a little upset because Captain Yadud is one of their they love Captain Yadud. To give a little bit of a background with Captain Yadud, he is essentially your stereotypical Boston sports fan. Adorned in Red Sox logos and things like that. It's a little strange considering that they're in Chicago, that he's adorned in Red Sox logos and people still like him. However, for some reason, they do.
Because he wears white socks.
Yeah, he puts white socks. He wears white socks with the rest of his Red Sox attire. But he's just a stereotypical Boston, obnoxious sports fan. He's kind of the type of guy that you'd find in a bar, hooting and hollering at the TV when, somebody scores a home run or something like that.
Sports balls hits the nets.
Yes, when one of the sports ball people does a sports ball thing. I only like the fake sports, like wrestling. Scripted.
Yeah.
Scripted.
Yeah,
Not very important.
So we cut to the arena. Camera pans to the entrance stage, and we await the arrival of the Mindcreep.
All right, so the lights black. The intro to the Ground to Dust song "Isolate" begins, which is very sonorous, very low. A piano note starts, and there's a single spotlight kind of near the ceiling, and you can see playing cards begin to kind of flutter and fall, from the ceiling. Hundreds of them begin to fall down, and then when they hit about the halfway point, they all catch fire, and so there's just this flash of hundreds of burning little cards coming down. The light kicks out just as the fire starts, and kind of silhouetted by the brief lights of all these burning playing cards, the Mindcreep is revealed on the entry ramp. He's kind of got his arms out, his head looking up in a very melodramatic pose that, causes his paunch to come over his pants just a little bit. Leather pants, bad spray tan. His open shirt is doing nothing to show off his physique. He kind of slowly makes his way to the ring. The music continues. The electronic vibe of it, kind of resonates with the way he's walking. Very slow, very sonorous. For someone of his size, he is moving with a little bit more rhythm and agility than one might think. When he gets to the ring, he slowly steps up onto it, gives a look around. He sees the camera and just starts kind of going. And then he, steps between the ropes, comes into the ring, and then grabs a microphone and I'm going to cut a promo, if that's okay, before the match.
Go right ahead.
So the lights come back on, and he's standing in the ring. The world is not what you think it is. The world is a banal, tiring, awful place. A place where the people of Chicago spend their entire lives. Can I get a cheapie? In this game, when you mention a city for the first time in your promo, for good or bad, once per session, you get a momentum chip, just like in real wrestling. It's easy to get a cheap pop.
Right here at Deeges and Dragons.
Exactly.
I get a momentum chip.
So, sorry, cut back. Like the people of Chicago, I exist in another realm. A realm where the imaginary and the dream world come together. A realm beyond sight. So much so that I don't even need eyes to beat my opponent, because I can feel his thoughts. I can feel his mind. And with that, he waves his hand, and a black silk scarf appears in his hand, and he begins to tie it around his eyes, and just kind of goes like this.
Somebody in the crowd's like, "You don't need eyes. Why do you need so much eyeliner?"
No response.
That's awesome. So, after that amazing in-ring promo from the Mindcreep.
Oh, I'm supposed to roll. Sorry for a promo.
Yep. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Roll plus look. All right, so that's a 6, 7.
7.
You get them to pay attention. Pick one. You can get a momentum, +1 heat with the subject of my promo. Add a stipulation to a relevant match, or make creative, put you in a match. So I'm gonna add a stipulation to the match, and that is that it is now a blindfold match.
Okay.
So essentially, it's going to be using look in place of the moves mechanically, if that works.
Sure.
Because it's definitely not, power or using real or anything like that. So
No,
basically,
it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. So I'm totally down with that.
Okay.
So yeah, right after that promo from the Mindcreep, you hear the song from Dropkick Murphys, "Shipping Up to Boston," just start blaring through the speakers. Camera cuts to the entrance curtain, and nobody comes out. The music just keeps going. It's almost awkwardly long at this point. We're about 30-45 seconds into the song, and nothing.
He's got a blindfold line. He doesn't know he's not coming.
He doesn't know he's not coming out. That's true.
Excuse me. I know.
Oh, sorry. He feels.
No, that's right. That's right. He knows. He knows what's going on. Matter of fact, he's standing in the ring looking a little confused as well, but still. And with that said, the "Shipping Up to Boston" cuts out, and you end up hearing the country twang of Dirty Streets entrance music. He comes out, and he basically he addresses the crowd, he puts a mic to his face, and he says, "This match should have been the Mindcreep versus Captain Yadude. However, it looks like the Mindcreep may have made Captain Yadude disappear. We can't seem to find him anywhere. There will be a full investigation into this Mindcreep, so be prepared for that afterwards. However, we still need to have a match tonight because we need to determine who will be the next UCW champion." And with that, he just basically points to the entrance, points to the entrance curtain, the entranceway that he just had walked through, and you hear this incredibly inspirational music. It's just like very, very slow build, just this really inspirational, uplifting beat. There is a gentleman that walks through the curtain. He is dressed in, it looks almost like, essentially it looks like gym attire. He's in this, like almost like a baby blue t-shirt. He's wearing like sweatpants, like gym pants, like that swishy material. I don't know what it's called. But like some of those, yes, basically what Conrad is wearing on his pants.
Oh no!
Oh,
Mic down.
Mic down.
I forgot I was supposed to hand that to you.
Cool.
Sorry. Don't want to cheat.
We're gonna let Conrad re-mic real quick. We're waiting for Conrad. So like I said, he's a light blue shirt. He's also wearing similar color similar color pants. That swishy material like Conrad's pants are right now. He has a like an over-the-ear headset type of a thing coming down to his face, and you hear the ring announcer say, making his way to the ring, Bucky Buchanan. Give a quick description of Bucky Buchanan. Bucky Buchanan is technically a heel. However, he believes he is a face. He gives encouraging speeches to the audience and his opponents to help them enrich their lives like his is. All they need to do is follow his simple 7-step self-help program. Be like Bucky. Every attempt to make friends or enrich someone's life, he ends up comparing their failures or shortcomings to his strengths. And he ends up kind of doing it in a condescending manner, seemingly accidentally, but it ends up making an ally hard to find. But he doesn't care. His life is enriched. So that is Bucky Buchanan. He's coming down to the ring, like I said, get that very inspirational music. He's got a big smile on his face. The crowd is booing the shit out of him, but he's just like, he's completely oblivious. It's almost like the crowd is like right completely behind him. They're on their, like, he thinks like the crowd's on their feet, like cheering, like completely delusional. And the mic that he has over his ear is actually a live mic, and thank you, as he's coming down. He as he's walking, he has actually got his hand behind his back, and he pulls out basically pulls out what looks like to be like a set of DVDs that has his face on it, like, and it just says "Be like Bucky," and he basically starts cutting this promo about how the crowd, they're these lazy pieces of shit, that he doesn't quite call him that because obviously he thinks he's a face, but essentially tells them like they're kind of crap, and that all they need is be like Bucky. You can be just like me and bring enrichment to your life. As he holds up the Be Like Bucky, he's still walking down the ramp as he's doing this, but as he holds it up, you see just like all of this kind of like fog fill the actual stage area, and this smell of like incense just comes like and engulfs the arena as this is happening. Everybody, that is the first step. Scent. Calm yourself. Center yourself.
Oh my god, SCENTER.
Center yourself.
I'm really
I love
glad. If you had him come out on a Segway, I was gonna start, calling you out for Simon Dean infringement.
Only a little bit. Actually, believe it or not, it started out like Bo Dallas, and it turned into Simon Dean.
Yeah, I was gonna say one to the other. Yeah.
But yeah, so he center yourself. He ends up, he gets in the ring, and he goes to he takes his DVD box set and very gingerly places it down in his corner, like his corner of the ring. The music fades. It looks like he's about to give promo when the ref just tells him to go into his corner, points at Lazarus to go into his corner, and
he's already started backing away.
So the ref signals for the bell. Bell rings. Bucky Buchanan kind of starts to rush the Mindcreep, running across the ring in your general direction. He goes for basically a running knee to the midsection, but it doesn't look like he quite connects, and that is where I will pass narration off to you.
Is he wearing his blindfold?
He's supposed to.
Oh, it's a blindfold match.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Before anything that I just said happened.
Well, I can actually play off this.
Go ahead.
He charges him with the knee, and the Mindcreep kind of sways backward and out of the way. His hand comes up with another blindfold, and as he's kind of turning back around to come in for another swing, he loops it around his head and then steps back. When Buchanan goes to take it off, the ref is like, no, it's a blindfold match. You have to keep it on. And so...
That's okay. I can do it.
So what then follows is like a solid 40 seconds of two guys with blindfolds just feeling around, which is like dead air in a wrestling match. There is no way better to suck the heat out of a crowd than a blindfold
match.
So the crowd starts to boo terribly. Eventually, though,
you suck!
Eventually, though, he finds Buchanan, and just, it's just a straight palm strike to the ear. Then it's another, he takes his fingers and jabs them into his shoulder blade there, because that's a pressure point in Eastern medicine, which, as we all know, magicians are masters of pressure point manipulation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Why not?
So basically, Buchanan starts taking these wild swings. Each time, just as he looks like he's about to connect, the Mindcreep kind of sways backwards out of the way and then almost daintily flails his hands, fingertips out, and keeps connecting with different parts of his body that Buchanan is forced to sell like these are legitimately crippling moves. So I'm going to roll look as my attack on that.
Do it up.
Let's see.
This is Robert Downer
Boom.
Jr.
That's a
down
10.
at the ringside commentating on this match, and I can tell you that this match is turning out much like my first marriage. Started out in a void of emptiness and nothingness, and then explodes into violence and disarray.
Oh man.
I love you and that. So we're gonna call that, I guess, work the audience. I get a 10, which is I get them where I want them and gain 2 momentum.
All right.
And so Buchanan is forced to sell these awful, terrible-looking moves. And then he finally, gets a hold of him, and he, just starts raining in knees. The Mindcreep is getting doubled over because every time the knee connects, you can almost see the dad flab roll around the knee on impact. When he brings his leg back to do another one, you can see sprayed hand covering the front of his, tracksuit pants. Buchanan's kind of got him rocked. He goes and throws him, tries to throw him against the ropes, but he can't see where he's throwing them. So he just kind of nudges him in a direction and stumbles. Mindcreep doesn't understand what's going on either, even though he's using magic. He hits a rope and then kind of bounces off it a little bit, but now he at least sort of knows where he is. Buchanan hits the ground and stumbles because he put way too much effort into it. The Mindcreep, kind of moves towards him, and he, again, kind of hops on his back like a overweight child. And again, this flail of finger point, pressure point attacks rain in. I guess I'm going to. I guess we're gonna also call this working the audience.
Yeah, I don't know what else it would be.
Yeah,
It sounds about right.
So that's a 7. So a 7 through 9 is I pick one. I can either gain a momentum and hand control of the match back to you, or I can take control of the match if I'm in one. I'm actually going to take the momentum, and I'll let you take the next part.
Okay. All right, works for me. So, So at sorry, I was trying to book a little bit ahead. What was the last thing that you just did?
So the last thing that he did is essentially almost piggybacking him when he's on the ground.
Yep. That's right, like the pokes, yeah.
But every time after one's done, he kind of like rears his hand back and like, even though he's got a blindfold on, you can tell he's obviously doing it, looking where he thinks the hard cam is, and then
It's like always like 30 degrees off though.
yeah,
Yes.
it looks terrible.
That's okay. All right, cool. So yeah, at that point, Bucky starts like his entire demeanor just kind of starts to change, and the smile gets wiped off his face, and he just starts looking like super pissed. And with like almost like this like surge of strength, he stands up because he's lying, kind of almost prone on the mat. Forces himself up, and actually get Lazarus up onto his shoulders a little bit, almost in it's called a fireman's carry, very basic wrestling move. But he's able to get him up in one of them. He looks right at the camera, and the camera actually, like in post-production, they do like a little shine off of his teeth, and goes to do a move called Death Valley Driver. As you got them up like that, you basically take the feet and push them up like this. So you bring them down, and you essentially kind of like pile drive their head into the mat. He goes for the cover, one, and the lights flicker. And when they come back, he's not there, but he's standing outside the ring. Bucky Buchanan is like, he's still like in the exact same spot, like where he was just lying on top of Lazarus, but Lazarus obviously isn't there, and he's just incredibly confused as to like what just happened. And back to you.
All right, so this was actually kind of an accident because he's still so completely stunned and hurt from actually getting a move done on him that while the lights flickered, he was supposed to do this thing, but he can't see what's going on because the obviously pre-prepared mesh blindfold went too low. Mm-hmm. So he actually just rolled out of the ring after he got hit with the Death Valley Driver, because he was supposed to have the lights come out and do this grand thing, but instead he got, he actually got hurt, so he just, and he rolls out of the ring. He just happens to luckily push himself up just as the lights were coming back on. But he's still obviously panting and breathing. You can see like the guy liner running out from underneath the eyeliner, running out the blindfold. Buchanan's in the ring. He doesn't really know what's going on. The Mindcreep at this point just takes the blindfold off because I'm a goddamn heel and I'm supposed to cheat. So he finally takes the blindfold off, magic shit be damned, runs into the ring, rolls underneath, and just starts putting the boots to him. Buchanan covers up. He just keeps kicking him over and over and over again. Buchanan starts to push himself up. He shoves him back. He falls backwards, and his hand lands on the DVDs. He brings them up, and as okay, so Buchanan is pushing himself to his feet. The Mindcreep moves in, does a flourish. The blindfold is now off and disappears. Buchanan's eyes start blinking wide, and he looks and sees the DVDs. And for a second, and then he just starts pleading. No, not my DVDs!
No, they're my only copy! It's my only copy!
And he's just holding them up, like lording over them, and he starts moving his hand like this, and he just goes, "Give up. Submit, or they'll disappear."
So he.
If I'm booked to win, this is going to be my finish.
Yo, you're booked. You're booked.
Oh,
to win.
okay.
You're booked to win.
All right. Because I don't need a special finishing move. I've got magic and the power of improv.
Yeah, no,
So-
totally.
So I'm gonna roll for my finisher. That's a 3. Here you go. So I'm gonna pick. So I can either choose to win through guile, gaining +1 heat, or they help play up my unique approach, and we each gain +1 momentum. So you can have these.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold on to this little one here.
All right.
And that's gonna be how he ends the match.
All right.
So the basic idea being that rather than see his precious DVDs get hurt, he gives up and starts tapping out on the mat.
He just gets down on the ground. You're not even touching him. You're not even touching him at all. No, make it stop! Make it stop! The ref just signals for the bell. The crowd is just like, the crowd's just fucking scratching their head. Like, what is this? What are we watching? Nathaniel Dorian's backstage, worried about ratings. Like it's a little strange, but hey, whatever. You hear the announcer, the ringside announcer say, "You're a winner
By
somehow."
By the powers of the unknown.
Yes,
All right,
you're a
so-
winner by the powers of the unknown, the Mindcreep. Yeah, your music starts playing. The crowd, like I said, the crowd's a little bit confused, or a lot of a bit confused as to like what they just witnessed. You can hear a lot of chatter amongst the crowd, but still, like,
Sports Center.
nobody has.
This is when Tom the Terrible starts actively recruiting him to be his Grand Vizier.
Right? So yeah, like as you're doing your celebration in the ring, the camera is going to cut backstage. Basically, you see it's just this really dark room, but there's like a little bit of light kind of in the corner, and all of a sudden, all you see is the light of a cell phone flick on, and then you also can, because of the light from the phone, you now see that same guy that stole Cameron Steele's cell phone. You see like the outline of his mask, and at first he's just looking down at the phone. He looks up at the camera, and you just hear a and that's it. It cuts back to a very confused-looking Mean Dean Cumberbund backstage, who is about to interview one of the opponents in the next match. His name is Timmy Sleeper. Timmy Sleeper, he is a lovable idiot, rather the lovable idiot who's more at home in a barbed wire match than his actual home. Which, by the way, is a room at the nearby motel. Stands about 5'10", 260. He has never been known for his physique, which is part of the reason he wrestles in an oversized shirt and jeans. That and, well, hey, wrestling here is expensive. So Mean Dean Cumberbund basically interviews him backstage. You're asking him what he did to prepare for this match. And essentially, he just kind of cuts this really short promo about how he did what he always does. He just went to the nearest Waffle House and ate. At that point, we also see backstage there is just a very confused looking Tom the Terrible kind of in the background trying to like find his way to the ring. At that same moment, Mean Dean Cumberbund turns around and sees Tom the Terrible standing there, and Mean Dean has a moment where he looks at Tom the Terrible, and he looks at Timmy Sleeper, and he looks at Tom the Terrible, and he looks at Timmy Sleeper, and he realizes it's like he's looking into a mirror. They look exactly the same, and the two of them, both Tommy and Timmy Sleeper and Tom, their eyes lock, and they don't say anything as it cuts to commercial. So come back from the commercial break, and the camera pans to the entranceway. You hear some again, just kind of some generic rock music start playing on the video screen. The name comes up, Timmy Sleeper. Timmy starts walking down to the ring. He's holding a kendo stick in one hand and a trash can lid in another. However, this is not a hardcore match. This is just kind of how he comes to the ring. The crowd absolutely loves Timmy Sleeper. They're on their feet. Everybody's chanting, "Timmy, Timmy." You can even see the kids in the crowd, that have like trash can lids and like other weapons and stuff. And they're like, they've got them high up overhead. Timmy, like completely beloved by the crowd. So he walks down and gets into the ring. He gets up on the turnbuckle, does his thing. He throws the weapons outside the ring, and he just stands there, kind of like working the crowd and staring at the entranceway. The rock music subsides. The lights dim quite a bit, and the entranceway is lit up by one spotlight, and you hear just this epic music start playing throughout the arena. You see Tom the Terrible emerge from the back. Like I said, he's wearing this leather armor. He's got a leather helmet, sword by his side, and he looks exactly like Timmy Sleeper. Come to find out, the commentary as he's coming down to the ring, you hear commentary say something along the lines of that the two we just discovered that these two are actually legitimately twin brothers, separated at birth, and we hope to find out a little bit more about what this is all about when the match is over. So Tom the Terrible makes his way into the ring, and he's just got this like war look on him. When he takes the helmet off, you notice that he's got some war paint like just under his eyes. So the ref signals for the bell, and the match is underway. The two, basically start going back and forth. At first, Timmy Sleeper gets the upper hand, and they, ends up pulling off this just crazy DDT from the corner. But again, they go back and forth. Inevitably, after maybe about a 7 or 8 minute match, Tom the Terrible does come out victorious. After he pulls off his finisher, which is an impaler DDT. When he goes to actually pull off this DDT, he makes a stabbing motion, like he's obviously doesn't wrestle with a sword at his side, but he makes a motion like he grabs his sword and then he's about to impale the person. Before he grabs them by the head, with an impaler DDT, you actually kind of like lift your opponent up too. So when you bring their head down to the mat, their feet are up in the air. It's like you're basically pile driving them onto their skull. So that's his finisher. He covers, gets on top, makes the cover. Ref counts to 3, and you again hear that real epic music play through the arena as Tom the Terrible basks in his victory. As that's happening, you actually see Mean Dean Cumberbund make his way down to the ring, which is something that we haven't seen yet, and is a little uncommon for a lot of wrestling promotions to just kind of have an announcer come down the ring, come down the ramp to the ring. But Mean Dean Cumberbund gets in the ring. He puts the microphone, or he grabs the microphone, puts it up to his face, and basically says something to the effect of, It is not lost on me that you and your opponent look very similar. Do you have anything to say about how this might be? Are you guys actually brothers? We've been hearing reports that you might be, but this is the first we're hearing of it. Tom Terrible starts kind of laughing, and he's like, he says something again, something to the effect of that yes, indeed, he does believe that this is his long-lost brother. He goes into a story that says that where he begins to say that when they were both inseparable from birth. They were best friends, and did absolutely everything together until the twins reached about 7 years old. Tom Terrible, he said at that point he stole all of the toys, all their collective toys, and hoarded all of them in his corner of the room, beginning his conquering streak. And they actually have not spoken nor seen each other since. Even though they lived in the same room until the end of high school, they refused to look at one another, talk to one another, anything. The dinner table while they were growing up was awkward. So after moving out of the house, they haven't actually had any record, they had no idea, right? The fact that both of them have actually become wrestlers is kind of strange, because growing up they didn't even like wrestling. All Tom the Terrible cared about was conquering the world, and Timmy Sleeper just kind of sat in the corner eating glue. So yeah.
The one thing he wouldn't steal is the glue.
Yeah, he wouldn't steal Elmer's glue sticks. Yeah, so as he's wrapping up that interview with Mean Dean Cumberbund, Timmy Sleep, the crowd's kind of in kind of this weird shock. Even though it's very clear that these two look alike, the rumor mill in real life, the rumor mill was they were either the same person, or that they potentially were twins, but nobody had ever actually seen them in the same place at the same time. As the interview is getting wrapped up, you see Timmy Sleeper get up, and he's got these tears of joy in his face. He grabs a microphone and my brother, you've come back. And Tom the Terrible, the two of them are about as far as Conrad and I are right now. Tom just kind of rushes up to him, and he's like, I don't think so, and just punches him in the face. Tom's like, nothing will stand in the way of me conquering not only this company, but the world.
And then he steals the trash can lid.
Absolutely.
That's actually his sword.
That's actually where I was going with that. He gets outside the ring, he steals the weapons, and says, I'm putting this with the rest of your toys.
It's like 20-year grudge.
20 years later, right? So yeah, he ends up, Timmy Sleeper is kind of just in the ring nursing his new facial wound. It kind of opened up a wound, bleeding a little bit, and he's nursing that, and he's also just got this look of heartbreak on his face that he's been betrayed by his flesh and blood once again, and although I guess he probably should be used to it by this point.
Who could have seen this coming?
Who could have seen this coming? My God. We end up cutting back to the backstage area. So we now know all the winners of the matches. So we now end up knowing the four competitors going into the ladder match. We cut to a backstage segment that has all four competitors standing there alongside Dirty Streets. Dirty Streets, he again reaches into the same pocket that he pulled out the 4 side plates from before, and he ends up handing one to each person. He then reiterates the fact that in order to enter the match, you must hand this gold plate to the referee. Once you've handed that to the referee, you're locked in, you're in the match. He looks at the camera and says, "May the best man win."
He's already running. I'm already running.
You're already running?
Yeah, the second he said that, like the condition of the referee, I'm already running. There's no... Yeah. And I don't run gracefully. I am not a graceful or particularly athletic person, you know.
Hey.
I am the Papa Shango of this federation, so I am just butt wagging like a dog the whole time I'm running over there. But yeah, I'm getting in the ring.
All right,
and
cool.
I will use every spell at my disposal to make sure nobody stops me.
Excellent. So, yeah. At this point, you see the. So you're actually running. You're sprinting into the ring.
Yes.
Okay. So the crowd ends up seeing him come out. Like no entrance music, no nothing. He is bound and determined to become the first ever UCW champion. As that happens, the big video screen in the arena still shows the other three competitors and dirty streets backstage, just kind of like looking at each other, whatever. In the backstage room, the lights kind of go out, and when they come back on, standing immediately next to Cameron Steele is that mysterious guy in the full body suit. The full blue body suit, like I said, just a red stripe where the eyes are, little black square for a mouth, and he's holding Cameron's cell phone.
Cool phone, bro. I got one just like it.
He doesn't say anything, and just like that, lights go out, and he's gone. So we now cut to the actual match proper. So he's in the ring, kind of trying to catch his breath, leaning up against the turnbuckle.
Magic, imagination. We're all the sleepers.
You can do it. So yeah, we cut to we see him kind of in the ring, just catching his breath. Like you hear him talking to himself. Most of the
Somehow
crowd
produces a pocket watch. And I start feeling like one of these.
Yes, the crowd can't make out most of what he's saying, but like they can tell he's just like completely out of shape. At that point, you start hearing that epic music from the last match starts playing through the ring. Tom the Terrible makes his way down. As he's about halfway down the entrance ramp, he actually draws his sword and he points it directly at the Mindcreep, basically as like a challenge, like, you might have been out here first, but I'm going to be the last one in the ring. So he makes his way out, gets into the ring, and then we cut to Poindexter Puny making his entrance. If you want to describe it again, or if you want to change it up, however you want to do it.
Before he comes out, the Mindcreep's music starts. Because he got out here way before he was supposed to.
It just starts.
The full
stops
entrance
abruptly.
starts to go. Like the cards start falling down near the entryway. They start burning, and that's when he steps through the curtain. Because
and he's like
complete to the over dramatic entrance, and then someone's scrambling, running through like burning cards to give him his ragu gun. Like
yes, exactly it. It got totally down with that. Hey, we're a new company. We're figuring out the production as we go. So you're actually coming out to the ring to his music. The cards are falling. You've got your ragu gun. You're spraying the crowd. However, they weren't prepared. They have no ponchos this time because it was not prepared. This entrance was not prepared in advance.
Wait. I feel like I should sell this like we're now in cahoots.
Oh, okay.
Because like I'm so dedicated to maintaining the realism of the show. So where it's happening, I'm just like, I'm coming out to this now.
Yeah. So you look down, and on the ground you see a couple cards that actually catch on fire, and you pick one up and you start waving it around, but you can't figure out how to make it disappear.
So you just stick it to your forehead.
Yeah, something like that, you know. But yeah, like you definitely kind of think you're in cahoots. Right after that, you then.
perplexed.
Right after that, Lazarus's music stops playing, and you then start to hear Andrew WK ready to die, blast through the arena. Cameron Steele starts making his entrance when yet again all the
Is he
lights.
finally wearing clothes?
Oh, I don't know. You tell me. He's still just in a Speedo. He still has
Speedo, huh?
and he still has a cop hat in his crotchal area.
No, he's gotten rid of that. That's in a
That's
special
toilet
place
paper now.
That's in a special place now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just a Speedo.
Just the Speedo. No shoes, knee pads, nothing. Just a Speedo.
Just a Speedo, bare feet.
During Cameron Steele's entrance, he's about maybe halfway down the ramp. And again, the lights go out. As well as like the video walls and everything, it's just pitch black in the arena. The big video screen turns on once again, and again you see this same mysterious guy in that blue bodysuit. This time he actually speaks, and he says, "Cameron, I know, and I will let the rest of the world know, unless you turn over your gold side plate and let me enter this match."
And we break here.
Next time on Deeges and Dragons. This mysterious man, he's getting kind of like lambasted by the referees. What are you doing? Who are you? What are you doing? Get out of here. And he's not moving. At that moment, the lights in the arena turn this purple hue. And the crowd goes ape because they know what's coming. This purple hue just fills the entire arena, and you hear this music. And making his way to the ring, weighing in at a whopping 629 pounds, a completely legitimate 629 pounds. If there is no official for this match, and this match is going to get as crazy as it already seems to be, there's only one person capable of keeping order here, and that's me.